My name is David Roman. That's DAVIDROMAN, and I'm going to be participating in the 2014 Alternative Spring Break Program with the Office of Volunteerism and Leadership.
Yeah, and what program or a course of study here at the college are you
The
in?
course of study am in at Wake Tech is the Associated in Arts program.
Good deal. All right.
Okay, what do you hope to gain or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
Well, by coming to New York to volunteer with Wake Tech students, I hope to gain a broader experience base of just helping out people who are different from me. You know, because when you help out people who have like different interests, you get a different sense of who other people are, of course. And so by helping people who are in shelters, by helping people who don't have the needs and the means to get what they need to do every day, just like for me having a house of my own, having transportation, having food and having a family that I can count on, meeting those people who are different from me will just impact me as an individual, knowing that I am helping those who need those things, and I'm actually making a difference in people's lives. And so I can take back what I've learned there, back to Raleigh, back to wherever I go, and just share that knowledge with other people to embrace the fact that we need to help others if we want to just promote an overall better life.
Yeah. And I could ask one favor. You mind taking your button off? I'll get my bag later. Yeah.
All right? Okay. It's fine.
All right, what expectations do you have about this trip?
Well, for starters, of course, I'm going to the trip to help volunteer with at the shelters. You know, having out food, clothing, just being with them, getting a sense of feeling for what they have to go through. So that would be the number one thing the number one reason why I'm going to this program. Of course, on the other hand, there is free time to go to New York, just hang around, get to see things I never get to see, especially since I don't travel often. And so just having the fun side as well as having the meaningful main reason why I'm going there, which is to help out.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
Well, when I first heard about that question, I thought about my trip to the men's shelter with the Inspirational Choir for Wake Tech and how we volunteered there and handed out food in the cafeteria setting to all the people who were homeless, who were just going there for the shelter, getting a monthly allowance. I also thought about the movie The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and how he had to go through his crucible in life, going to a shelter whenever he could to provide the means to provide safety for his child. And so when I think about going to a shelter, going to a hostel, helping out other people who don't have those necessities or those basic needs, I think of them as just people who just need a push, you know? Yes, they might be considered weak or not so much defenseless, but just not as capable to get the things they need. But I just want to change that, you know, because if you could change something in a person's life, giving them the food that they need to live, that is making all the difference.
What is the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
Now, I think generosity is something where like people give a sense of feeling, give a sense of just help. I'm helping you, I am being generous. For charity, it's more I'm helping you, but because you are the cause, you are a part of the organization that helps children get the education they need. So I am giving to you, I'm giving you generosity for that specific cause, whereas generosity itself is just more in general, just me being friendly and me trying to help give a helping hand. As far as social change goes, I believe that's more broad. You know, if I want to just create a complete difference in people's mentalities, saying that, okay, I pass by you and you drop your books or something like that, and I just keep moving on. No, I'm going to be generous in a sense. I'm going to get back down and help you get your books up. Just and embrace that notion that if people are struggling, even if they're a complete stranger, you should give an honest effort to help them get to where they need to be because you would want the same thing in return.
What is your one must-do thing not related to service before you leave New York?
Well, when I was a little kid, I was actually born in New York, in Queens, New York. And so my parents, particularly my dad, he brought me to Chinatown here and then. And so I remember just going to these little boutiques, these little stores, and getting one of those dragon things that you just carry around, or some like shiny stickers related to like the Chinese zodiac. And so when I think about that, I just think about this feeling I got, this happy feeling I got with my dad. And so when I go back to when I go, yeah, in a sense, back to New York, I want to just go back to Chinatown and just see all they have to have and get those little stickers, get a little dragon, and just feel like a kid again.
Right, thank
Sean McKellar, ShaunMckellar, course of study, Global Logistics Technology.
What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I hope to gain a better awareness. I have volunteered several times in the community throughout my life, and I guess just engaging the people as soon as we get there. I think I'll be, I can bring back a sense of selflessness, and kind of just embrace everything that they have to offer, and hopefully I can pass it down to my kids.
What expectations do you have about this trip?
First of all, I guess just the bonding on the way up there, and getting to know my fellow classmates, and I guess the fellowship, the bondage, eating some good food, seeing some sights, just the overall experience. I'm gonna take it in.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
I think a lot of people look at them as being poor, uneducated, maybe drug addicts. But I think that's not a good perception.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
Generosity, I would say that's a state of being kind. Charity, more of benevolent giving, sharing. And social change, I think, is you just being a part of something positive, and being a great role model, having a great attitude.
And what's your one must-do thing not related to service before you leave New York?
I've been to New York several times, but I never got a chance to visit Wall Street or the New York Stock Exchange, so I think I would love to do that.
You can go ahead.
Okay. My name is Cherise McManus, CHERISEMCMANUS, and my course of study is nursing.
Okay. What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I really just hope to gain awareness, just help, and just really just help others, because I get like a really big sense of like non-selfishness, because I'm not a selfish person at all, and I just love just to help people and really just bring that back maybe to my siblings. And since I do a lot of volunteering already, maybe I can put that awareness towards my best friend, my family, maybe other friends, or maybe some type of impact on some of the other volunteer organizations I'm part of.
What expectations do you have about the trip?
I really do want to bond with the people I am working with, because they already seem amazing already. I love smiling. And really expectations, really just bond with the people that I'm going to be helping, most importantly. Leave an impact, even if it's something small, big. As long as I'm working with everybody, I think it'll just be great. And then also to visit New York again and just maybe explore places I never explored before.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
Gosh, there's so many. It's so negative, because I volunteer in a soup kitchen for the past 4 years, and most of the time people think they're a bum, they're dirty, uneducated. They're just, some people, I've actually already heard that they're selfish. I don't understand that term at all, but that's not true at all. That's a really bad perception.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
I think generosity is based off of manners, like holding the door for somebody, helping somebody pick up their books. And then social change, I think that's when you you just help somebody, you probably make an impact on them, and maybe also make an impact on yourself, and maybe just being part of different type of organizations and stuff like that. What was the other one?
Charity.
Charities, when I think charities more like donating and giving, maybe not really physically putting yourself out there, maybe like donating clothes.
And what's your one must-do thing before you leave New York?
I want to try their pizza again.
Thanks.
My name is Anta Diouf, Antadiouf, and I am in a pre-engineering program.
What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I would say the feeling of satisfaction by being able to help and contribute to the community, while also gaining empathy towards people that we are going to help and that will help me to grow as a person.
What are your expectations about the trip?
My expectations are just to learn new things since I've never been in New York, try new things, and the most important would be to be socially connected, as volunteering is a great way to socialize with people.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
Some of the stereotypes are that homeless people are crazy, dirty, or just dangerous. And I have met some of homeless people that have mental illness, but I just think that they need help in order to get over it and just, be accepted and not live in the streets, but they should be able to live in the mental institution if they have mental illness.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
Generosity is simply giving to others, that can be your friends or your parents. And charity, I would say, is just giving to people that are less fortunate. And social change, I would say, is just to change how society interacts or how society operates or believes.
And what's your one must-do thing before you leave New York?
My most wanted thing would be go see Times Square, and Central Park. That would be great.
My name is Samantha Reed, Samanthareed, and I'm in the Architectural Technology program.
Okay, what do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I do hope to gain some new friends out of this experience. I think it'll be a really good chance to fellowship and meet new people, especially on the 10-hour bus ride to and from. I hope to make an impact on the people that I get to work with, the people that I get to help, but I also hope to gain something from those people through their ability to work through adversity and still get up every single day, whether it's the life they want or not. That's huge, and that requires a lot of strength and determination, and that's something that I would like to have more of for myself as well.
What expectations do you have about this trip?
I expect it will be kind of emotional for me to be completely immersed in a totally different society. Coming from where I've never wanted for anything, so to go in and meet with people who struggle on a daily basis, I think it's going to be difficult, but I think it's going to be a really eye-opening experience, and it's good to see that not everybody has it as easy as a lot of other people do.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
There's a lot of negative connotation on homelessness. A lot of people feel like they're dangerous, or they're bad people, or they must have done something wrong to end up where they were. They don't consider the fact that sometimes things just don't go right. And if you ever take the chance to speak to somebody who isn't like you, or who might seem like a bad person to you just because they're standing on a street corner, you probably would have something to learn from them and their story, and you might have a little more sympathy and empathy for people who are in tough situations, and maybe reach out and try to help somebody next time you see that.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
I feel like generosity is the way you are on a daily basis. The person who helps out other people, who offers to open the door. You know, if you're struggling, let me do something for you. If you need a ride, I'll give you a ride. If you need lunch, let me buy you lunch. It's kind of who you are, your personality. People are generous people. Charity is more of an organized, I feel like charity is a very organized word, and it deals a lot more with an organization and a group of people, but it still has the same effect of trying to give. Social change, I feel like, encompasses both of those words, in that if you're looking for that type of change, showing other people how you can be to be a generous person, maybe other people will learn from that, which will create that change.
And what's your one must-do thing before you leave New York?
Oh, I just heard about the food tour, so I'm pretty excited about that. And outside of eating lots of food, I really, really want to see the Guggenheim Museum. I think that's going to be really exciting.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, Rebecca Ryan, REBECCA-RYAN, and my program of study is nursing.
What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I'm, I guess what you would call a creature of habit. Like, I like schedules, and I'm right-sided brain, so schedules and crossing things off. And I feel like when you're that way, you become kind of complacent, kind of comfortable in your life, comfortable with your schedule, comfortable going through your day. So I feel like this is a really unique experience. It's going to give me a lot of eye-opening experience into how that's not how the world works. That's not how life works. You can't have schedules all the time. You have to step outside your comfort zone and try new things and put yourself out there. So I hope to get out of my comfort zone. That's what I hope to change, I guess.
What expectations do you have about the trip?
I expect this to be the best time of my life. That is literally what I expect. I expect to not have any bad experience at all. I expect it to be great. I expect to have so much fun while I'm volunteering. I expect to love everybody by the end of the 7 days. I just expect it to be great. So hopefully that's a true expectation.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
Dirty, unseen, unimportant, someone try not to make eye contact with. I remember there was a corner at the gas station up by my house, and there was a man who had a sign who was asking for money. And I looked away, and then I looked back, and then I looked away again. Then I looked back, and he had flipped the sign over and said, well, if you can't offer money, you could at least offer a smile. So, I don't know, that kind of spoke to me a little bit. So I smiled at him, obviously. I love to smile. So, but yeah, that's something unseen, unimportant, dirty. Yeah.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
I feel like generosity is just something that you have or you don't. Something you want to hold the door open for someone. You want to shake someone's hand. You want to smile. You want to give somebody the shirt off your back if it'll help. I feel like charity is something where you give because somebody needs it. So I'm going to a homeless shelter to pass out soup because they need my help. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. I feel like social change is this almost unattainable because people say it's unattainable, right? So, but something as small as giving a nickel to UNICEF could start social change, could start something that could be profound in later generations. So I feel like social change is anything and everything to change the way people think.
And what is your one must-do thing not related to service before you leave New York?
To stand in the middle of Times Square. That's all I want to do. That's not really all I want to do. Yeah. Okay.
Chase Johnson, CHASEJONSON, and I'm in the Associate of Arts program.
What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I hope to gain broader knowledge of the problem of homelessness and poverty because in New York it's on such a large scale than it would be here. It would kind of open my eyes to some of the stuff that they have to deal with. And I also hope to become better at cooperating with people, working with people, and doing this type of work in that kind of environment.
What expectations do you have about this trip?
Again, I expect to learn a lot about homelessness, and I also expect to get to know everybody who's going, all the volunteers, and really I expect to have a great time.
What are some of the stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
Some of the stereotypes are that they're either on drugs or they're addicted to alcohol. If you give them money, that's what they're going to use it for. They're dirty, they're mentally unstable, and I think that's unfortunate that we have such negative perceptions of those people.
What's the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
Well, I think charity starts with generosity. I think a lot of generous people have to come together to make a charity work, and then I think charities are big agents of social change and play an important role in making everybody equal economically and socially.
And what's your one must-do thing not related to service before you leave New York?
I really want to stand in Central Park and look around, maybe even go to the zoo.
Thank you.
My name is Jessica Bundy, Jessicabundy, and my program of study is journalism and communications.
What do you hope to gain, or how do you hope to change as a result of this experience?
I love to learn, so I definitely think socializing with other people at school definitely lets you learn about other people, but at the same time you learn about yourself and you apply it to your daily life, which is pretty good.
What expectations do you have about the trip?
My expectations are pretty high for this trip because I do want to learn, but at the same time I want to help. And as a result of this trip, I wish to tell people about the connotations that homeless people do go through on a daily basis.
What are some stereotypes that come to mind regarding homelessness?
I think stereotypes with homeless people are pretty harsh. I work at a grocery store, so I do get those customers who come in and they'll be paying for their food with pennies, and you'll have those customers behind them rolling their eyes or kind of looking at them as if they weren't worthy or they weren't intelligent. And I really don't like that. But
what is the difference between generosity, charity, and social change?
generosity is just simply being kind. I think a lot of people need to learn that. However, charity, I think it's a little bit more. I think it's willing to go above and beyond that and give a little bit of yourself as well. Because when you're willing to give about yourself, you're willing to learn about someone else and make a positive change.
And what's your one must-do thing before you leave New York?
Before I leave New York, I definitely want to go to Chinatown. I've been to New York dozens of times, but I've never been to Chinatown. And I definitely like the whole culture within a culture, subculture type deal. And I think that'd be pretty interesting.